about Judgment Day that totally transformed my life. One day I was praying and God called me up into a vision, and we were in a line standing to be judged. And I remember behind me was a friend of mine that I used to work with. And as we were going forward, I remember standing before the Lord and the Lord lining out the things that I have done. And then at the end, he says, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." And so instead of allowing me to go into heaven, he sat me over to the side. And my friend came up and he said, he listed out her sins. And he said, "Depart from me, worker of iniquity, I never knew you." And with tears in her eyes, she looked over at me and said, "Alexis, why didn't you ever tell me?" And ever since then, in the vision, I was crying profusely. I was like, oh my gosh, like all of those times where I was scared, it didn't mean anything. All of those times where I was afraid how she was going to take me, it didn't mean anything. All of those times where I felt like I wasn't ready, it didn't mean anything at that moment. Tell people about Jesus Christ, because the time is growing near. Look, Jesus may not be coming back today, but he could be coming back for your friend, your family member, your coworker, anybody around you at any time. Death does not have an age. Death does not have a number. But I will tell you one thing that people need to know for sure, that their lives are right with Christ. That was 2 years ago. If you notice that somebody passes away or they get deathly ill, you notice that those trivial conversations or some little disagreements that you may have had, it really doesn't mean that much anymore, that you value the person's life. So if you see somebody standing in a building that is burning that they may not see, you don't cower back, but you cry aloud and say, "Hey, get out," because they're not looking at the bigger thing that is happening. And I told the Lord, I said, "Lord, I'm done with worrying about those temporary feelings of my flesh. I'm done with the lies that the enemy try to put in my head, that I can't share my testimony, that I'm pushing or forcing my religion on somebody, or, somebody's not going to accept me anymore." Those things don't matter when it comes to the eternal judgment. God has called each and every one of us to the Great Commission, which is to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. Did you know that you can't take any of these materialistic things with you to heaven, but one thing you can take with you to heaven is people? I pray that God gives you a hunger for souls, gives you the hunger to be a laborer in this season. I pray that he takes every bit of fear, every bit of anxiousness out and replaces it with a heart of compassion for the ones who are lost and in need of a savior. And that savior is Jesus Christ.